Hello, everyone, and welcome to kind of an interim episode of Sort of My Podcast. This isn't really going to count towards the episode count. We just wanted to kind of do this because the next episode you're going to hear is very fun and high energy, and we're talking about DC fandom, and it has no mention of Chadwick Boseman, and that is because it was recorded before that news broke. And we felt it was too damning, maybe.
Enthusiastic.
Well,
Like the
yeah, enthusiastic to kind of attach this to the front of it. It's just like,
yeah.
hey, here's a really sad thing. Now look at all the goofiness and the jokes. Um, so we just kind of wanted to do a little memorial episode, if you will, and just talk about the guy. Uh, talk about, I guess, when we heard about it, our thoughts, uh, all that stuff. So, okay, so let's talk about when we heard the news, because I think I found out before everyone. Odle had sent me something. That's actually how I found out. Never mind, Odle found out
That's
before
how
me.
that's how I
Yeah,
found out too. Odle is he's the he's the bringer of bad news sometimes. He's also the one that informed us that Stan passed away.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
but I remember Chadwick is now another one that I can put on the list of I know where I was at when I was told. I
yeah,
was right in that area of walking in my back door into my kitchen, those couple little steps. I was about to come back inside. I know those couple of steps is where I told Brittany I was literally walking in the back door, and I see the message and I open it up, and I didn't even have to Google it because I know you wouldn't fuck around like that. Um, yeah, it it took a little while for it to sink in.
Yeah, he sent it to me while I was at work, and it was already still pretty late. I was kind of gearing up for the weekend, so I was shoving like all the work I would do in Saturday in Friday, and I was already way behind. And then he sends me this, and I just immediately just abandoned all of the tasks I was being paid to do. So I can start Googling and like finding out like, hey, holy crap. I did. I had to look into it. I just to confirm it for myself, because I was like,
Yeah.
no. I was like, it's Chadwick Boseman? Like, there's no
and
way. No
Mhm.
way.
I mean, I did like within minutes wind up looking it up, but like I didn't have to look it up initially.
Right.
I knew, like I knew
that's
he
like
wasn't going to lie
I
about something like that.
I think I got home from work, and when I got home, got changed into some comfy clothes, sat down, just kind of started scrolling on Facebook. Looked at a couple. I always scroll through a couple of the groups I'm in. I saw someone just make a post. It's like, "Is it true about Chadwick Boseman?" And I'm like, "Is what true?" And all that there were on that post was sad reacts, and I'm like, is what true? So like as soon as I see that, I immediately search it, and it's just article after article after article of RIP Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, when I initially looked it up, like the newest one had been from like 8 minutes before you had sent me that message and stuff. So that news caught fast, man.
Yeah,
See,
Uh, and I think it's because like I said, I was like, Chadwick Boseman, like of all the people, this doesn't seem right. And it's because I guess aside from some paparazzi shots of him like looking a little malnourished, uh like he kept this thing under wraps, and he'd been fighting it for
yeah,
what, like 4 years.
four
Colon
pretty
years.
much
cancer, by the way.
since the release of his solo movie.
Yeah,
But
if you haven't heard, if you've only heard they died, you don't know why. It was he lost a battle with colon cancer, and so
well,
that's what happened
from based on the timeline, So Captain America Civil War, our first look at Black Panther, was in 2016. If he's been fighting this for 4 years, it would have had to have happened right around the time the Civil War came out.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry, his first on-screen
His first
appearance was.
MCU
Yeah,
appearance.
Yeah,
And then so which when you sit and you think about that during the Black Panther movie, Infinity War and Endgame, all of that he was doing between chemo treatments and weekend and everything else, and still put on an amazing performance in each one of those movies.
and not just those movies, dude. Like he put on, and I have to be honest, I haven't watched any of these, but I've within the past few days I've wound up looking up reviews that were reviews prior to his passing. But he's played Jackie Robinson in 42. He played James Brown in Get On Up. He's played in Marshall. He has what's the new movie? Defy Bloods. New Spike
Yeah.
Lee joint.
Mhm.
21 Bridges, I think is what it's called. Yeah,
I mean,
he's
he's more than just the Black Panther.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. But he was evidently from family member, maybe his wife. Um, he took extreme pride in playing the role of Black Panther, though.
Yeah.
of course. He became in the midst of fighting his own battle. He became an icon for Black culture,
He
and
I mean,
became a legit hero, like a
yeah.
legit superhero.
He
but
gave hope where there was
Yeah.
none before.
well, speaking more onto his body of work, I can't say I was aware of him before Black Panther, and I know he's done a few movies since. 12 Bridges I checked out specifically because of Black Panther. Um, I will say I watched Defy Bloods because of the eruption of the Black Lives Matter movement, because Netflix had that curated list,
Oh,
and
see, I
I think
didn't.
it was in there. It was in there that I watched it, but I was watching stuff from all sorts of sources, so it could have been on a different platform.
Yeah.
Uh, but both movies were great. He was a phenomenal talent, and ignoring Black Panther 2, which I think we will go ahead and talk about that here in a little bit, because at the same time, we are fans. Well, sorry, my cat
Yeah.
started to scratch at my chair, so I had to knock her off. Um, uh, we are fans of the franchise, and this news will affect the MCU moving forward. So I think it's discussion worthy here. But for right now, I just want to say, from what I've seen in the, I guess, 5 performances, if you're counting Endgame, uh, he is a phenomenal talent. Oh no, he was in I guess 6. Um, he was a phenomenal talent, just across the board good. Whether he was on Marvel's side or anything else. Um, so another thing I want to talk about is because we can talk about the movies, sure, but I would rather talk about the man. Um, and one of the things that I definitely had followed, aside from his film career after he became Black Panther, was I always see all the like Robert Downey Jr. visited the paraplegic girl, um, or no, the amputee girl,
Yeah.
and like Captain America with that boy who defended his sister. Like I see all of that stuff because I'm always up on this type of news. And Chadwick Boseman was a huge one. And when I first found out, like I said, I was at work, so I was already burnt out from a whole day. It was a crappy day, anyways. Very low energy. I was kind of burnt out. Couldn't really feel it. So the next morning, I wake up. First thing I see is that post that's going around where he visited that one girl in the hospital.
Insane
And,
dudes.
yeah, and he had thrown confetti with her and everything. And that's what got me, because the caption with it said, "Dude was out here fighting a battle we didn't even know about, and was still bringing smiles to those fighting their own.
Yeah.
And that's a good dude. It's just
Dude,
a good dude.
I,
And
I legitimately laid in bed the night of, and like I started crying, dude, because of that exact thought of like, think of how many children's lives that he either met in person or not, that he's touched. You know what I mean? And we've seen a lot of things, like a lot of videos and photos coming out, like during the release of the solo Black Panther movie. And that's just that's one of the biggest heartbreaking things about
Have you
those
guys
of us that are here left. You know what I mean? Like
like
it's a bit of a it's a
most
bit of a
heartbreaking
bummer,
thing?
if to be the most understated thing of the year.
Yeah. Like for me, one of the most heartbreaking things that I've been seeing so far is all of these black kids who were given that beacon of hope. It's like he's like me. Like I remember seeing those
Yeah.
posts of the kid looking at his mom. It's like, Mama, he's like me. And
Yeah.
now you turn around and you're seeing these posts where these same kids have all of their Marvel action figures standing around Black Panther laying down on the floor
yeah.
with the Wakanda Forever. Like that's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually said to Vin, just what, yesterday or maybe today or something. Like my son was literally sleeping with his Black Panther Build-A-Bear. Like he does literally every night. Like that, not just he doesn't just sleep with it, he packs it around everywhere. He
He was
dressed as Black
packing
Panther
it
last
around.
Halloween.
He was
Like,
packing it around as we were leaving this weekend and stuff. He
Yep.
was carrying it around. Yeah.
yeah, like I still haven't told him. He's gonna find out because like anybody that doesn't know, my son is on the autism spectrum, and he obsesses over things. But he's been obsessing over deaths of like Pixar employees that passed away in like the late '90s and shit. Like it's weird. So I'm not going to tell him this. You know what I mean? Like, call me a bad parent or not if you're out there, but like, I'm not going to. He's going to find out, but I'm not. I can't be the one to tell him yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a rough day. Um yeah, my son even messaged me about it, and I know that he was blown away. The way I know he was blown away by Black Panther's appearance in Civil War was that the next figure he asked for, like after that movie, was Black Panther.
What's my Panther?
I made sure we got him one where like interchangeable heads and stuff, so that way like he could actually see without the mask and stuff. Uh, have all the options on the table. So it's an effective character and an effective story arc, which I guess can bring us to let's talk a little bit about Black Panther 2 and our thoughts on our fan thoughts on like how should this be handled moving forward. Um, one thing that's not outside of Disney's capabilities is they could kill
Recast.
off the character. Well, I don't think they would recast. I feel
They're
like
not. They're not too terribly big on recasting anymore, but they have recasted main characters early on.
but that was for like contract disputes and stuff like that. Not that somebody died.
Yeah.
With
Um,
them going into the
Recast.
age of the new
I
Avengers,
feel like
though, I can see them going forward in that next step where Shuri took up the mantle of Black Panther.
Well, what I was getting at was more like how do you make the transition? You can't just start the next movie and sure he's Black Panther and let's never talk about why. Uh,
well, do you do you not kill him off, but give a really good reason on why he has to step away and we don't see him
well,
anymore?
what
Because to kill him off screen, if they were going to do that, they should have done it during You know what I mean? Obviously, they like story wise, they should have done it during the times that the character did get killed off. So just like story wise, just be like, oh, he got killed off screen somewhere. Yes, it was a tragedy, but here's Shuri as Black Panther. Like, I would much rather have a like just he had to go do something. Who knows when he'll come back?
Well, what I was getting at is
Something cosmic or something. Yeah, who knows?
it's not outside. Well, they're not at that level yet. Uh, yeah,
I mean, Ragnarok was fairly cosmic.
yeah, but
Well, I mean, to give you guys kind of an idea, um, basically the reason that Shuri became Black Panther is because she was also the child of T'Chaka, and because T'Challa was suffering from grave wounds, she took up the mantle of Black Panther as well as assumed the role of leader of Wakanda.
well, what I was attempting to say was it's not outside of Disney's capabilities to CG together some scenes, maybe out of existing footage,
Yeah.
maybe out of just wholly created from the ground up footage using his likeness. Uh, I mean, look at the amazing job they do at de-aging at this point. You're telling me they can't just kind of put him in a scene?
And look what they did with young Carrie Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
And that
So,
was a few
Well,
years ago, and you know that they're already doing
and
better than that now.
even then,
So,
like if they have some audio clips or something like that that they could put together and have him in the Black Panther suit and have something happen at that point, they wouldn't even necessarily need his face.
it's Disney.
you would want his face at least for the final shot of like his final shot.
Plus,
You know.
Yeah.
as far as giving him dialogue, like I mean, impressionists are all over YouTube.
Yeah,
You
I was
tell
gonna say that's
find somebody who wants to take like a big ass contract to come in and do like fucking half a day's worth of work. They can do it.
Yeah.
My thought is you send Black Panther on a mission. Like obviously they can't pour like half an hour's worth of movie and budget into recreating T'Challa digitally, but you send Black Panther on a mission at the beginning of Black Panther 2 and like you kill him. You kill him right there.
He,
It's
he
shot.
doesn't come.
Yeah, it gives the movie this emotional resonance from the very beginning. It's a good way to start telling your story for passing the mantle to Shuri. Um, that would be the best way I think they could handle it. And again, it's Disney. They've got the budget. They've got the talent. They could do it.
They've got our trust.
Yeah.
You
But if they just don't
the
acknowledge
biggest.
or they do it off screen, that's a disservice.
Yeah.
I think their biggest hurdle would have to get the like the blessings of his family.
Yeah.
Because
Sure
I
they
feel
could.
like if his family like flat out said no, like we don't want this, and they went ahead and do it, it would be 100% a disaster for him.
Yeah. But I'm sure
So,
they would because this character meant a tremendous amount to him
mhm.
because
Oh
it
yeah,
meant a tremendous amount to the fans, specifically the Black community. So to deny Disney the chance to like make it right on screen and give him at least a meaningful send off, that would just be self-centered.
oh
But
yeah.
they have the right
But
at
there's
this.
still a chance, is all I'm saying.
But well, at the same time, like if they want to be self-centered, they have every right. So I mean, they lost somebody. It's well
Yeah.
within for them. Um.
And it would be
Uh.
hard to see that on screen for them again. And why I say again is because I mean they had to see something like that on screen once, especially with that character. You know what I mean?
I mean, why would they want to watch him die in a fictional world when they had to do it in real life?
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys would like to say as we close this out?
Something I know that we didn't mention, where he played Jackie Robinson in the movie. I don't know, by some weird twist of fate, whatever it may be, but it was Jackie Robinson Day, the day that he passed away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was also Jack Kirby's birthday, and Jack Kirby was one of the co-creators of Black Panther.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just an all-around.
It was a weird way for the universe to align.
Yeah.
Do its thing. A few things I want to say about him. I'm going to do a basic bio read.
Okay.
Born and raised in South Carolina. He attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., where he studied fine arts. He began his early career in acting, directing, writing, and teaching in New York City, then relocated to LA, where his first leading role in Hollywood film was Jackie Robinson, actually, in 42. His film roles towards the end of his life included 21 Bridges from 2019. He also co-produced The Five Bloods, and his final film, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, will be released on Netflix. He died August 28th, 2020.
43.
So,
Damn.
that's another thing. I didn't realize that he was. I thought maybe just late 30s. I didn't realize he's already in his 40s.
Still, man, he's
Yeah, and he looked great.
like,
I mean,
just over 10
anytime I've seen him.
than us. Just 10 years older than us.
Yeah.
But that, I mean,
Literally, yeah.
dude, it is wildly cliche. It is wildly cliche to the max, but you gotta fucking appreciate the time you have. You absolutely have to.
You
I
know.
mean, even though those last 4 years had to have been so fucking rough for him, look at how much he lived his life and did with it just in that time, and he did everything he wanted before that. So you gotta make it count, and he did.
Absolutely.
It sucks knowing that he had so much more to do, not just Black Panther. Like what else was up there creatively that he didn't get to get out?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking before we got on mic. Was as a kind of self-centered thought was, I hate that like we won't be able to see what else he had.
Yeah.
What else he could offer, because
I hate
the
that
world lost a good one, man.
I hate that he doesn't get to show it to us. You know, he doesn't get that satisfaction. The kids that he means so much to, I have to move on without him. You know.
I mean, he left such an impression on, not just the kids, not just fans, like on the world. I mean, he in his time, he really left an impression that will never be forgotten, and he made such a difference in so many lives.
I mean, and it's more of like a personal effect, but I don't learn. Dude, I don't learn names very quickly, and he stuck out very fast to me. Before I even watched 12 Bridges, I could tell you easily Chadwick Boseman plays T'Challa. Yeah. So he did not waste any time with me. I knew he was something special, like right away. Like I had to check out 12 Bridges, a movie I probably wouldn't have even thought about had he not played Black Panther. And it was good.
You know,
I suggest
one
it.
thing I would like to do is, it sounds kind of weird, but I'd like to thank his family, because at a time that they were behind the scenes, like with him, knowing that like there's the chance that they could lose him at any moment, he was giving so much of himself to everybody else,
Yeah.
and
Didn't even
they
think of
were,
it.
and they supported him 100%.
So how strong
And had Yeah, and had to give away some of him, at a time that they knew that was very precious to him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's we lost
They
a good
shared
one.
him with the rest of the world.
So it may be a little uh I don't know, it may be a little lame, but I'd like us to close this one out on the Wakanda Forever salute. Just a little moment of silence and we'll just fade it out if that works for you guys. All
That
Yes,
right.
work.
sir. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda Forever.